welcome to the AGM and annual dinner of the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors. You are no doubt aware that the Society started its journey in 2008, and tonight's event is the 9th AGM and annual dinner. Tonight's event has been divided into two segments. In the first part, we will be conducting our AGM, and in the second part, we will have our annual dinner. So, let's kickstart the event with a big round of applause for each others. Thank you very much, that was motivational. This will definitely keep me going until the end. I would like to kickstart the event with the welcoming speech by our President, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ihsanul Haq, the President of the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors. Mr. Ihsanul Haq.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I'm stressed and nervous, so forgive me if I go beyond the rail. Thank you. I thank you all for your genuine effort to be in here despite of that bad weather. This only carries the utmost eagerness from all of you, and from us is a great support. You all know about the society. I just get a big, small catch-up. We are running our 9th year. Since the inauguration of the society back in 2008, I can tell you a long list of achievements by the society, sacrifices made by the members, and true love carried in their hearts. Many of those you might have already noticed our achievement, and very few went quietly. The society is now one of the partner organizations with the Law Society, and we work tirelessly with the Law Society to keep our repute and to develop our client care and our professional skill. What is our focus? During my tenure, we have set several targets to achieve. A, to continue with various professional trainings for the members and others, to organize public seminars, as well as many networking events. To open a pro bono clinic, which is actually our flagship project within the Townless Borough as a startup. And this law clinic provides no obligation-free advice to the people who may not have means to pay initial cost. This is our commitment, and again I say this is our flagship project. We also aim to achieve a target to arrange cross-training between firms and will awareness. What is our achievement so far? Thankfully, we achieved target numbers of professional training events and networking seminar for year 2016 and 17. Our flagship project Pro Bono Law Clinic has been set up and going in full swing, and we do receive support on regular basis. The cross-training is aimed to benefit member firms and to share expertise and exchange knowledge in different areas of law. The will awareness will be conducted shortly. In between, my team members have successfully organized 2 wonderful summer trips. Many of you have participated, and thank you for that. A beautifully created cultural event with an exceptional theme running, the cultural period from Mughal era. Again, many of you did participate in the event, and thank you again. And obviously, we're not resting there. Many will come in the following years. I'm not very familiar to give a long speech, a short one, and perhaps a quicker one. So here I am, my team, and I wish to thank you all for your support. I must also thank my entire team for their tireless support. Have a great evening, and stay with us for value speeches from the Law Society President and from other guests. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the welcoming speech by the President of the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors, the AGM, the annual general meeting of the SBBS 2017 has now formally been opened. The first thing first, I would like to request now, let's have some housekeeping, at least be informed. And I would like to request our Vice President, Farida Hakim, to take you through the emergency procedures in case of an emergency. Farida Hakim, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, everybody. Just in case there's a fire, you will hear an alarm which will tell you which way you need to be going. There will be fire marshals who will be outside waiting. You will hear the fire alarm go off and it will tell you which direction to go. But you can see the fire exits clearly signed. And all you need to do is leave your belongings and just follow everybody in a nice, orderly fashion. Can I also ask everybody to keep their mobiles on silent out of respect for all the presenters here tonight and during the delivery of their speeches. Also, the toilets are kindly situated right at the bottom floor, so you have to follow the staircase all the way down if you want to use the gentlemen or the ladies. Thank you, and I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you, Farida. We now know the appropriate directions in case of an emergency. Now, you understand that it's been long 9 years since the society started its journey, and we cannot forget the formation, how it all started. And for that, we would like to now hear from 3 particular founding members of the society who has worked tirelessly hard to build the society and formed the constitution. I would like to now introduce to you Mr. Shafiqur Rahman, former president of the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors. He is the founding principal of Citygate Solicitors and a founding member of the SBBS. May I invite Mr. Shafiqur Rahman onto the stage to say a few words. Mr. Shafiqur Rahman, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and distinguished guest. I'm not a good speaker, so I wasn't told that I have to deliver a lecture here, otherwise I could have taken some preparation for a good speech. However, I was elected as president of the society, so I have to say something, few words at least, without preparation, as a president, ex-president of the society. This society was born in 2008. We have taken over up until today, and it is now 9 years, my colleague said. By the time, the society already established high-profile character in the local Bangladeshi community, and I think we are taking the society in the right direction, taking forward to the right directions. And last year, there was an amendment on the name of the society. It was Society of Bangladeshi Solicitors. Last AGM, the word British Bangladeshi Solicitors was inserted. And that was rightly inserted because this is a mixture of British Bangladeshi solicitors and Bangladeshi origin, those who came from Bangladesh with Bangladeshi qualification and requalified as a solicitor or barrister in this country. We want to be together. We want to take this forward with the mixed culture who are from Bangladesh, who are from here, who are born here. We want to take this society forward. We want to work together to make the society workable for everyone. I understand the society under the current leadership, they are doing very well. I found the event was organized very nicely. So I want to say thank you very much to all the members of the society who worked hard to organize this event. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shafiqur Rahman, former president and the founding member of the SBBS. Thank you for your inspirational speech. We were going to hear from another founding member of the SBBS. However, he is being late and he has given his regards. Mr. Muhammad Abul Kalam, former president, founding general secretary. I believe he will be here tonight very soon. However, let's hear from another founding member of the society. In fact, he was the brain behind this society, and he's the founding president of SBBS, Mr. Sahul Ahmed. He's a very well-respected lawyer, very well-respected person to us. Mr. Sahul Ahmed, ladies and gentlemen, may I invite Mr. Sahul Ahmed onto the stage to say a few words.
Mr. President, government body members, and SBS members, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, good evening. It is my great pleasure that SBBS celebrating 9th year AGM as well as dinner. Dear members, I just refresh our memory. In 2008, during my presidency and General Secretaryship, Mr. Abul Kalam, we introduced CPD, as well as membership of the Law Society, as well as membership of the SRA. During the tenure of Mr. Abul Kalam presidency and Ehsanullah secretaryship, they introduced this dinner party every year. This dinner designed for the members and family and guests. So our family will enjoy this dinner. And during the tenure of Mr. Shafiqur Rahman and Abul Kalam Chaudhary, they introduced SBBS picnic party. And current SBBS governing body doing lot of things. Just particularly I mention one thing, they set up for the community the SBBS Law Center. And this is great achievement. I hope, dear members, you are supporting. That's why SBS is succeeding, and we have to do lot of things. I think our president will place our one agenda to the Law Society president. In 2008, during my presidency, we have a good meeting with the Bangladesh government and the Bangladesh Bar Council. They allow us to open the British branch in Bangladesh, but due to the change of government, this process has been stopped. This is very important for us because our generation and next generation inheriting lot of properties in Bangladesh, and we facing difficulties to transfer money from Bangladesh to here, as well as lot of British society, British community and Bangladeshi community has business over there. So we are unable to take instruction from the London. So if we have a branch over there, we can take instruct and conduct their cases and other matters in Bangladesh. So I request our president, second statement in dinner party, place this issue to the Law Society to take initiative to open British branch in Bangladesh. Dear members, it is our responsibility and duty to establish rule of law within the society. So we have to first abiding by our constitution and SRA regulation. So stick with this, but because time is short, that's why I'm finished my, thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you.
Thank you to our founding president, Mr. Sahul Ahmed, and also our current advisor to the Society. I'd like to now invite Mr. Saifuddin Khaled, our secretary, to present to you the annual general meeting and the secretary's report.
Thank you, Farida. Thank you. I will be actually taking assistance of this projector for the report. It is an absolute privilege for me to present the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors annual report for 2016 and 17. One of the joys of drafting an annual report is for us, it gives us the opportunity to look back what we have achieved and be thankful for what we have accomplished. The past year was filled with wonderful opportunities, many challenges for the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors. You can understand that the activities of course, you will be presented with the magazine which will have the full format of the report. So I will not be reading through the whole report. I will be touching upon the highlighted parts of the report. And before I take you to the core elements of the report, I would like to take this opportunity to take you back to 2008 when it all started. The idea of the society came to life on a cold evening when few Bangladeshi solicitors in the UK came together and felt that there was a need for a formal platform for British Bangladeshi solicitors due to the increasing numbers of solicitors of Bangladeshi origin in the UK. The idea flourished. They put their heads together and successfully launched the journey of the society at this very hall, Law Society's hall, on 17th of July 2008 in the presence of Lord Phillips, the then former Chief Justice of Supreme Court of England and Wales. They named the society, the organization, the Society of Bangladeshi Solicitors, SBS. We are very grateful to our founding members, and the rest is history. Ladies and gentlemen, as per the Constitution, the Society has been electing its governing body every 2 years, and on 4th of June 2016, at the annual general meeting, the members of the Society gave their mandate to change its name to the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors. Since then, SBS has become SBBS, which is the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors. I would like to take you through to the highlighted parts of our activities during 2016 and 17. As I mentioned previously, on 4th of June 2016, we have had an election, and on that election, the current governing body of 21 members of the society has been directly elected by our members. They have taken part in the huge democratic exercise of the election, and they have given their consent and vote for the members to serve the society. A huge numbers of members and distinguished guests attended the event accordingly, and here it is, the full list of our current governing body, including the president, vice presidents, other members of the officials, you can see in the projector. The highlights of SBBS activities in 2016 and 17 are as follows. The governing body met with the press on several occasions, initially on 30th of June 2016, exchanged the view, and the law clinic, the SBBS legal clinic, was formally announced to the press on 9th of December 2016 as well. SBBS also organized for the first time in its history and presented its first musical extravaganza from Mughal to modern. This took place on 27th of August 2016 in Oxford House Theatre, East London. The program was hosted by our Cultural Secretary, Pia Mayanin. As we have mentioned, one of our flagship project, it was in fact flagship project of SBBS, SBBS Free Legal Clinic was launched on 7th of December 2016 at Greater Sylhet Council premises. We are very grateful to Greater Sylhet Council for accommodating us and for giving us the opportunity to run our clinic from their premises. We are very grateful. Currently, the legal clinic runs every 2 weeks at the premises of Greater Sylhet Council, and once again, all credit goes to Greater Sylhet Council for allowing us to run our legal clinic. We have had several view exchange meetings with important members of the community, and we have had view exchange with the Mayor of Tower Hamlets, Mr. John Viggs, who has shown keen interest in our flagship project, SBBS Legal Clinic, and the local media has given unbelievable and tremendous support in our worthy cause. The clinic currently advises in the areas of family, immigration, housing, and welfare benefits. All our advisors are qualified solicitors, experts in their respective fields, and all of the advice and instructions are being fully ensured. Historically, SBBS has been arranging a continuous professional development (CPD). SBBS has been under this current governing body, we have arranged 6 CPDs from 2016 up until now, 2017. In 2016, we have arranged 3 CPDs, and in 2017, we have arranged another 3 CPDs. We are very grateful. There was a huge number of attendees attended the events, and including the solicitors, barristers, legal executives, advocates, and YSC practitioners, and each training event saw participation by huge number of legal professionals, and we are very grateful to them for to make our CPDs very successful. We have held seminars, and one of the notable one was on 23rd of May 2017 at the Harvard City Hotel for SBBS members, non-SBBS members, barristers, trainees, solicitors, paralegals, and others. And a number of speakers spoke on that occasion. Mr. Jerry Harvey from Law Society, he spoke on role and range of ethnic minority lawyers. And amongst other guests, there were Adam Bullion from InfoTrack, Joe Harding from JLT Specialty, and Barrister Saiful Islam from BBLN, one of the biggest lawyers network in the UK. We also have had the opportunity to have had a view exchange meeting with one of the largest community organization in the UK, British Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and a view exchange meeting took place on 21st of March 2017. The meeting was important to develop the meaningful relationship with all major stakeholders to bring prospective changes in the society, and we are very grateful to our members to support this event, and that was a very fruitful event. We also have had a view exchange meeting with London Muslim Centre and East London Mosque, and that was a very successful one. We've been briefed about the East London Mosque's activities, and we have also our president led our team, and then he explained to the members of the executive body of the East London Mosque and London Muslim Centre of our activities as well, and that was a very fruitful event for us. We also have had a view exchange with one of the largest business group, Canary Wharf Group, and that was a very fruitful event as well. As SBBS, our route goes with Bangladeshi Biman, and then we have had a successful view exchange meeting took place with Bangladesh Biman's manager, and SBBS team was accordingly led by our president. We also took part for our continuous initiatives to build relationship with local organizations, and we organized 2 friendly football matches, one on 6th of August 2016 with London Bangla Press Club. We let them win on the occasion. And again on 9th of October 2016, friendly match with British Bangladeshi Lawyers Network, BBLN. Once again, we let them win. Summer trips, historically we have been arranging summer trips, and in 2016 and in 2017 we have had our summer trips. The members took part in the summer trip with their friends and family and thoroughly enjoyed the events. We went to Viking Bay, spectacular Viking Bay beach, and on 19th of August recently we've been to a spectacular Bournemouth beach, and we have with our friends and family thoroughly enjoyed the events. We also have arranged 2 iftar mahfils in 2016 and another one in 2017, and members of the profession, local community members, press attended the event, and we have thoroughly enjoyed in the spirit of holy month of Ramadan. I'm nearly finished. I will be very soon inviting our treasurer to give the full report, financial report. However, I will be very quickly take you through to the financial report. Just bear with me. You can see in the projector the income CPDs 2016 and 17, it was 29,087. Expenditure CPDs 2016 and 2017, 14,186 pounds. Summer trips, we managed to collect 5,605 pounds, and summer trip expenses were 6,338 pounds. Cultural event, we collected 1,570 pounds, and the expenses were 2,407 pounds. Governing body members contributed 850 pounds. Law clinic expenditures were 924 pounds. And miscellaneous, we collected 229 pounds. Miscellaneous expenses were 2,514 pounds. In total, the income was 37,341 pounds. And the total expenditures were 26,369 pounds. The balance remains in the fund, 10,972 pounds. Thus concludes my annual report for 2016 and 17. We have sought to leave the SBBS to serve its entire membership and we the people in the legal corner. The report highlighted the need for bringing about the more diverse approach in the profession. More engagement with the community at large is now greater than ever, seems likely to grow. Continued innovation, openness, and creativeness will be required for the SBBS. I would like to encourage the members of the SBBS to make great use of this society, and I would like to urge every member to cooperate with your open heart so that we can take this organization to where we want to take it to. Thank you very much, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite Mahdi Hassan, the treasurer of the SBBS, to present the comprehensive financial report 2016 and 17 for the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mahdi Hassan.
Thank you, Khaled Bhai. I'm very honored and privileged to come before you and explain what we have achieved in terms of financial income and expenditure. I understand this is the most exciting part of the AGM because everybody wants to know about how did you earn all this money, where did you spend it, what was the process, was it democratic, was it transparent? But before I go into detail, let me tell you, those who know me, my name is Mahdi Hassan, and those who don't know me, still my name is Mahdi Hassan. But please don't confuse me with Dewan Mahdi Chaudhary, although I don't mind, because I take all his credits. He's the most exciting member of the GB, and I take his credits because our names are similar. Right. General Secretary of this SBBS has already explained all the figures. Now, allow me to explain how did we actually go about and did it. SBBS is self-financed organization by the members. Every single time we want to do a project, we discussed it, debated it, and put forward a proposal. And that proposal was passed by the governing body members. We went ahead, did the program. After the program, we presented another report. And that report was critically analyzed, debated, discussed, and criticized. Some of the events we did not make money, some of the events we did. To that note, I must actually name few names who did fantastic in last a couple of months. As you can see in the report, our biggest source of income is CPD. We have managed to organize 2 CPDs in 2016 and 2017. The highest income, £29,000, came from members, participants, barristers, lawyers, YC members. But if I have to name one name who is behind all that big figure, is our CPD secretary, Mr. Nurul Ghaffar. Please give him a big round. His tireless effort, without that, we wouldn't have achieved that. Second biggest income, obviously, all the members and their families, they participated, enjoyed, and went to 2 summer trips, and we earned £5,600. We spent a little bit more, but that's why we are here. Our income compensates our leisure activities, like summer trips. This is the very first time that we did something different, cultural event, and we had a budget of doing it as small budget as possible. We ran over the budget because that was the first time we did it. We learned a lesson that when it comes to pleasure, solicitors must be opening their palm, not closing it. So we will spend more money entertaining our members, bringing them joy outside of their practice. And I take all responsibilities of not making a profit on that. Because first thing I said in the first GB meeting, that I'm going to discover, explore, and introduce new sources of income. And as you can see, our annual dinner has been sponsored by 3 distinguished sponsors. Please give them a big hand for sponsoring our event. The more we engage with our stakeholders, like the Law Society, the Solicitor Regulation Authority, the suppliers like JLT, Index, and the barristers, we work together, we will sponsor each other, and we will actually foster a solid relationship so that all our members can benefit from each other's skills. This is the first time probably we ran a balance, and we are actually giving you more details. I will be around you. If you have any questions about our report, feel free to approach me. I can give you more details, but I'm not going to take any more time. I think I have taken too much time today. Thank you very much for supporting us, and enjoy the dinner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mahdi Hassan, for your comprehensive report. That was the Treasurer's report of the SBBS for 2016 and 17. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to now particularly introduce to you a very distinguished member of the profession, Mr. Muhammad Abul Kalam. He was the founding General Secretary of the Society, and he was the former president of the Society, as well as he is currently the advisor of SBBS. Mr. Muhammad Abul Kalam, he is a very well-known solicitor in this community, and our advisor. May I invite Mr. Muhammad Abul Kalam onto the stage to say a few words. Mr. Muhammad Abul Kalam, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm sorry for my delay, actually. I wish to thank you, everyone, for attending this dinner. I can recall we started our journey from this hall, actually, in 2008. And it was the president, Mr. Sohul Ahmed, with me. I was the secretary. Now, it is our great achievement today. It's 2017. We have increased a huge number of the members. And I wish to thank our governing body, who is doing tremendous job during the years, in particular President Hassan Haq and Secretary Khaled and other members of the governing body. I don't want to take any more time because already delay for dinner. I wish to thank you everybody for attending tonight's dinner. Thank you all. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Abul Kalam, the founding General Secretary and former President of the SBBS. The next agenda on my list is the proposed amendments of the Constitution. We are very grateful to our founding members for their huge contribution for the formation of the society and its Constitution. It has been long 9 years, and the current governing body felt that current Constitution needs to be amended or updated. Accordingly, a resolution was passed in the governing body meeting and a subcommittee was formed. The committee came up with the proposed amendments which were debated in the general governing body meeting and has been circulated. The proposed amendments has been circulated to the members. So far, we have received observations and suggestions from 2 distinguished members of the society. We are very grateful to them. The committee has taken into account those comments and suggestions from these 2 distinguished members of the profession and the society. Proposed amendments are covered by paragraph 14 of the Constitution, which states as follows. The governing body may propose necessary amendments of the provision of this Constitution by passing a resolution. Such proposal should be passed by a resolution of a 2/3 majority vote of the members being present, agreeing to the said resolution at the general members' meeting. So, as for paragraph 14 of the Constitution, I formally put forward the proposed amendments for a vote on a motion in this meeting. Those who are in favor of the proposed amendments of the Constitution, please raise your hands. You were circulated. Are we counting? Can we count? Can you please keep your hands raised so that we can make the counts?
Are you in favor of the motion? If yes, you can raise your hand as well.
Yes.
24, 25.
Thank you. 31. Okay, so we have now calculated the votes in favor of the proposed Constitution, and the total number came as 31. Now then, I would like to request those who are not in favor of the proposed Constitution, kindly raise your hands. We cannot see any. So, having taken into account the votes in tonight's meeting, at this annual general meeting, I can formally announce that the proposed amendments have been accepted and passed by a resolution by the majority members of the present here in this meeting. Congratulations to all. Therefore, the amendments will be formalized accordingly. Thank you everyone for taking part in this huge democratic exercise, and we are very grateful to you. With this, I formally conclude this part of our tonight's event, the AGM. Before we start our second segment of annual dinner, I leave you in peace. Thank you very much. just an instruction, a very small instruction from the President, presidential order. We will be kickstarting our annual dinner at 7:30. I believe the time is now 7:10. So we will be kickstarting our annual dinner event at 7:30. Thank you very much for listening to me so far. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you very much. A big round of applause for all of you. কিতা হইলো তোমরা কই বেশি হাসলে তো প্রবলেম কুইক করো আইও আচ্ছা ওকে ওকে আইও ওকে কই দিছিস না ম্যাগাজিন এখন দিয়ে দেওয়া দরকার সবাইকে। Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now 27 past 7. We will be starting the second part of this tonight's event, the annual dinner, at 7:30 on the dot. So may I please request everyone to take your seats. Thank you. You're fine.
এলবি নিউজের ওগুলা সব রেকর্ড শেয়ার দেওয়ার লাগে আর আমরা লাইভ দেয় আপনি এখন স্টার্ট করে নিয়ে দেন আর 5-10 মিনিট আমরা নেব
Why?
আমরা লোসিসিটি প্রেসিডেন্ট না ইয়া গুইলা গেছে যে বেটার জন্য এবার করে
Okay.
তো হ্যাঁ এটা ব্যাপারে
I think I'm finished with that. I'm finished with that.
Oh, you don't need the projector.
I don't need
Fine,
the-
'cause you know,
Yeah.
there's a light and with the
No,
camera. Light doesn't
not
come
anymore,
with-
not
That's
anymore.
fine, no problems.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? It's time to start the second part of tonight's event, the SBBS Annual Dinner 2017. Let's kickstart the event with a big round of applause for each of us. Thank you. That was wonderful. May I now invite onto the stage the patron of the SBBS. He was also a founding member of the society, Judge Belayat Hussain, onto the stage to formally open this part of tonight's event, the annual dinner of SBBS 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Belayat Hussain.
I'm supposed to open this part, so I suppose I declare it open. Good evening, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen. The Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors, as you would have heard said many times, began its life, in fact, in this hall way back in 2008. And you've also will have been told that the opening ceremonies were honored by the then Lord Chief Justice and President of the Law Society. Since then, I believe the Society has found itself a good place in the legal landscape of this country. It therefore, I think, does not require much introduction. In case you think it does so, and there is just hot off the press a prospectus placed on your tables, to which I draw your attention and invite you to read. I'm aware that we have a very impressive lineup of guests about whom and from whom you will shortly hear. I must therefore save time for their speeches. You will have heard from me many times previously. I have been the Society's patron since inception in 2008. I am what you might call part of the furniture. Most of what I would otherwise say is in that piece that I have written that you will find in the prospectus. I will therefore not go over those. However, I should express my delight and honor of inviting all of you to this event, and in particular our honored guests, for many of whom making this journey will not have been easy given the cold weather. I must also acknowledge a number of people by name, of whom we are very proud and honored to have amongst us today. You know, you may not realize this, but the Bangladeshis are a noisy bunch. We like to celebrate at the slightest opportunity. So when the Bangladesh cricket team loses to the English team, we celebrate. We say it matters not whether you win or lose. What matters is how you play the game, and we always play the game better than the English team. When, therefore, we had the first professional appointment of judges from our community, I think the first was probably in the first year immigration tribunal. We celebrated and felt that the day was probably not too far when we will have other appointments, in particular in the higher echelons of the judiciary. Being close to the festive season, some even saw bright stars in the night sky, some more, of course, brighter than others. And lo and behold, the stars did speak to truth. Within a matter of few years, we had a number of other appointments, mostly in the first year tribunal and, as far as I'm aware, one person to the county court. And it was not so long after that we have the appointment of Judge Shopnara Khatun, who we are very honored to have here today. You will heard a lot more about her from those who introduce here shortly. She is, or began, as you probably know, her career as a recorder of the Crown Court. Since then, she has, of course, moved on to becoming a circuit judge, and we hope in years to come to things greater. She has already made her mark in the judiciary, as many of you will know. She was very involved in the examination of the evil of forced marriages. In fact, I learned recently that she was very much involved in the drafting of the legislation, which is now in place. Most recently, she was extensively quoted in the press about her observations in the foster care arrangements in a case that involved a child that was placed with a Muslim family. Her comments, in my view, put a balance to the otherwise imbalanced and veiled attack on multiculturalism that I think is now part of British society. It is our hope that she will continue to be brave and dispense justice to all without fear and favor. Despite his youth, by far the brightest star of all from whom within the Bangladeshi community is, of course, Akhlaq Chowdhury, who is sitting over there. He outshines all of us. His appointment, firstly as Queen's Counsel and later as Deputy High Court Judge, was an omen of better things to come for the Bangladeshi community. That day has, of course, come. Recently, he was appointed a judge of the High Court. Congratulations, Mr. Justice Chowdhury. May you continue to serve your country and uphold the traditions of English law, which is our heritage. When we established the society, many of us, including myself, remarked that despite the Bangladeshi community having the reputation of being one of the most underprivileged ethnic groups in this country, we have come of age and were beginning to lay our footprint in British society. The judicial appointments of Judge Shopnara and Justice Chowdhury is further evidence of this. May you be examples to others, and we look forward to the day when there will be more of you sitting in judicial benches. I have been asked to express gratitude to the Law Society for allowing us to hold this event here, and to its president, whose attendance we anticipate will take place shortly. Likewise, our appreciation goes to the Executive Director of External Affairs of the SRA, who I notice has already made her presence. Thank you. You will have seen that, like other members of the solicitor profession, members of this society have taken on their regulatory responsibility head-on. They continue to support their members on issues of compliance. I have been asked to point out that many of the society's members are sole practitioners for whom the regulatory responsibility is onerous. It is hoped that in your reviews of the framework, you will address their concerns and make provisions for lighter regulations for them. It now remains for me to ask you to bear with us if there is any shortcoming that you find in our arrangement, but to enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you very much, Judge Balayat Hussain, the patron of the SBBS, for formally opening this part of this event tonight. So we are formally, this part of the event is formally opened. I would like to put you on notice that we are live by our media partner LB24. So if you would like to share your Facebook, whatever it is, Whoever not in here tonight, who are not enjoying, your friends and family, they can enjoy our event. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are no doubt aware that tonight's event has been sponsored by a number of sponsors from legal sectors. And a gesture of gratitude, I would like to invite them onto the stage to say a few words. And firstly, I would like to invite Mr. Joel Harding of JLT Specialty, who have been providing professional indemnity insurance to many of our members. Mr. Joel Harding, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, live TV, this is a first. Would have had my hair cut, never mind. Right, good evening, everyone. I'm Joel Harding, and I'm from JLT Insurance Brokers. I just want to say how great it is to be here this evening as sponsors of your annual dinner, along with my colleague Toby King. It's the second event that we've done with your society now. Thoroughly enjoyed the first one, and I'd like to thank my good friend Eshan for inviting us and having us along. It's a privilege to be here. I'm not here to speak about JLT, but for those of you that aren't aware, we are one of the leading insurance brokers in the UK, with over 12,000 law firms as clients, ranging from sole practitioners to top 100 firms. Many of you here, I imagine, are current clients of ours, so do come over and say hello and introduce yourself. And let us know if you have any questions. We deal with a wide range of insurance, from not just professional indemnity, but directors and officers, cyber. So we can cater for any of your business needs in that aspect. That leaves me really just to say that I look forward to meeting some of you a bit later on throughout the evening, and I wish you all a very pleasant night. Cheers.
Thank you, Joel. I would like to, the next person on my list is from another of our sponsor, Index Property Information. Conveyancers are familiar with them. Ladies and gentlemen, may I invite Mr. Tim Shuttleworth and his colleague onto the stage to say a few words on behalf of Index Property Information.
Good evening all. My name is Tim Shuttleworth. My colleague James and I run Index North East London. Firstly, thank you, Ehsan. I'm not exactly sure where you are. There you are. Hello. Thank you for inviting us. It's a great opportunity to be here this evening and meet all the members of your society. Supporting local businesses is the foundation of community throughout London and the UK. The most thriving communities of London are those with businesses that complement and support each other. Index are strong advocates of this spirit and work hard to build working relationships that benefit all parties. All right. We're surrounded by examples. On Brick Lane, Subway or Salt Beef. Whitechapel Road, Nando's or the Chicken Shop. Starbucks or the local barista. While these are all catering examples, why should the same ethos not be applied to other business? Local business card printers rather than an online company, local minicab rather than Uber, and why not apply it to law too? Local search provider, not national online hub. Index Property Information is your local conveyancing search provider. Based on Mare Street and Hackney, we provide services to solicitor firms within North East London. We are not an international IT firm with an army of sales reps promising the world. But we are the largest independent search provider in the UK, with 20 offices nationwide, offering all the online search facilities and reports you would expect, backed up with second-to-none customer service. A couple of notable developments for us recently are the ability to complete stamp duty submissions via our online ordering platform, having integrated with HMRC, and the Land Registry inspired mapping. These developments are in addition to further simplifying and developing our client ordering platform, which was already the most intuitive system on the market. One more very important point that local business will always be better placed to achieve, and that's old-fashioned values. We believe in offering more than simply providing reports and searches to our clients and encourage them to see us as an extension to their own teams, ensuring they benefit from our old-fashioned values based around building relationships and good communication. President of the Society, Mr. Ehsan Huq, is a valued friend and client of ours, who, should you wish for confirmation of our service, will be more than happy to underline our credentials. James and I are here all evening. We're very much looking forward to meeting as many of you as possible. Some we may be meeting for the second time. If you wish to discuss our services, then please do bring it up in conversation. Have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I would like to now introduce to you Barrister Masood Iqbal. He's the head of the London View Chambers. And the London View Chambers is one of the key sponsors of tonight's event. Masood is a good friend of mine and a distinguished member of the bar. May I invite Barrister Masood Iqbal on behalf of the London View Chambers onto the stage to say a few words. Barrister Masood Iqbal, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Success in any profession comes at a price, and the solicitor's profession is no exception to this undeniable truth. There are many organizations, groups, and societies of ethnic minority solicitors who come from diverse and different backgrounds. The Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors is one such group whose solicitors, I believe, can be divided into two groups or two categories. The first category is of those solicitors who are born, raised, and educated in this country, and then they followed conventional routes to qualify as solicitors. And the second category is of those solicitors who were born, raised, and initially educated in Bangladesh, and then they came over to this country to enhance their legal qualifications with a view to qualify as solicitors and practice in this jurisdiction. Whilst nobody can understate or underestimate the struggle and achievement of the category 1 solicitors who qualify by following conventional routes to qualification, yet at the same time, the struggle and the uphill challenges faced by those solicitors who come from overseas and establish themselves in this jurisdiction, they deserve a special mention and recognition. So these are the people who first obtain a degree in their own country, followed by a 3-year law degree or a 4-year LLB honors degree. Then they have to pass a certain period of internship in this country under the supervision of a senior advocate, and then after passing certain bar exams, some of them practice many years in Bangladesh and some of them practice for a few years, and then they come to England to pursue mainly master's degree. Then they register themselves as registered foreign lawyers with this law society, and then they pass certain transfer tests such as QLTT or QLTS. Those who come here as students, they finance their university fees from their personal savings, and in some cases, help from family and friends because they do not have recourse to public funds or bank loans or student loans. They single-handedly have to meet all of their expenses, for example, paying sky-high rents for residential accommodation in London, ever-increasing cost of traveling, clothing, food, and on top, they have to meet financial needs of their spouses, their children, whether they are here in the UK or overseas, and some of them have to meet the financial needs of their family members, their parents, their siblings, etc. Plus, they have to learn a new language. They have to adapt themselves to an altogether new culture at a rapid pace, and most of all,
they have to continue meeting with ever-changing, most complicated and confusing conditions of their leave to remain. So then they qualify as solicitors, and I'm sure many of you may remember having attended the prestigious ceremony in this Law Society Hall, and then many of you develop a hope that the future is bright and the road to success is smooth and broad. But a few years down the profession, you understand that the profession is so saturated, and according to the Law Society statistics, at present there are 142,349 solicitors who hold practicing certificates and 185,596 solicitors who are on the roll of solicitors. So in such a saturated profession, it's difficult for the solicitors who follow non-conventional route of qualification to make their way to Magic Circle, national, regional, or other well-reputed firms. So you then have to establish yourselves as sole practitioners or in partnership with those who are in similar position. And that's how many of you establish high street firms, having spent a lot of time, energy, effort, and money. There is a very long list of problems that solicitors like yourselves face, but the time is very limited, unfortunately, today. However, I would like to congratulate the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors who, in these odds, do a tremendous job to all of you and to the profession as a whole. I'm truly indebted to the Society for inviting me this evening today and for addressing you. And thank you for your patience. Thank you. Thank you, Masood, for your speech. With that, we have come to the conclusion of the introduction of tonight's sponsor. I would like to now, ladies and gentlemen, introduce to you a distinguished member of the community, Mr. Inam Ali MBE, who is a very well-known personality in our community. He is the president of the British Bangladesh Chambers of Commerce and Industry. May I invite Mr. Inam Ali MBE onto the stage to say a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Inam Ali MBE.
Thank you. First of all, I'm very honored and privileged to be here. Although I was here maybe a couple of years ago, and I was immensely proud to be here to see my community success. And first of all, I wish Home Secretary Amber Root here. She was always complaining that we've got a lot of people are unemployed and wants to be making a curry chef. My background is curry industry, and I feel very proud to be represent curry industry. And curry industry's crisis has still going on with many unfair ruling, and unfair policy has really putting us in very awkward situation. So our campaign continued going on, negotiating with government, and probably you've seen on the media, we are demanding for visa Vindaloo for getting a rapid action to make sure curry industry problem can be solved. But I'm immensely proud to see one of our very good friend recently become a judge, and Sar Akhlaqul Chaudhry. We are very proud of you. Can you give him another hand, please, behalf of... Let me tell you how proud I am. If you look at the background of many of you, it's from my industry. And I really feel very proud that what actually curry industry delivered in the society where multicultural Britain couldn't be spelled of what multicultural Britain. It is my first generation who has came in this country with empty hand, humble experience, and they have given the what actually we've seen tonight. And that is really turning me on to make sure to continue flourish our community, and Britain will be contributed of many ways. And I feel very privileged to be here. And one thing finally, I like to say, we used to spend almost 18 to 19 million our legal bill for our curry industry as a whole, not for dispute, it's many other property and many other trade transaction to paying the bill. And that has been reduced by, from your legal advisory program you do. And I believe me or not, I can give you some index to prove it to you, because of your television program has done a wonderful for our society, where I know the dispute is not arguable. Sometimes your first advice is a community. You're giving us that advice, and it's not going to the contest, and that is reducing in our bill. So thank you very much. And I really want to enjoy the evening. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Anambai. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to now introduce to you a distinguished member of the profession who was called to the bar in 1975 at the Middle Temple. He is the head of the chamber of 1 Essex Court. He is also a former member of the parliament for Barnbury for 32 years, from 1983 to 2015. He was knighted in 2012 and appointed to the Privy Council in 2014. It's an absolute privilege for me to invite Sir Tony Baldry onto the stage to say a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Tony Baldry.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Mr. Justice Chowdhury, friends. It's always a bit of a worry making a speech before dinner because you're never quite sure how many other speakers there are after you. And as a politician, one kind of senses and feels those listening are starting to get more interested about when is dinner going to be served than yet another speech. But I'd just like to say a few things. I think part of the great strength of the United Kingdom is our diversity, and the strength of London is what a fantastic cosmopolitan city this is. And actually, the Bangladeshi community is in a really good position because there are two huge business centres now in London, the City of London and Canary Wharf. And by and large, many of the Bangladeshi professionals of the Bangladeshi community find themselves geographically between the City of London and Canary Wharf. And I can't think of many other really good geographical areas in the world to be, because that area can only but go up in terms of property values, commercial activity, and in every way being able to give legal advice. I think another great strength of our country is that there is nothing to stop members of the profession getting to the heights of the profession. And this is not new. Every generation has done this. You know, my own grandfather started as a pretty penniless article clerk to a city firm of lawyers and went on to become chief executive of the probate and trust department of the Midland Bank when the Midland Bank was one of the largest 6 banks in the world. So every generation has done it. And there is a possibility here for everyone to rise to the heights of the profession. And also, in addition to, of course, important law for the community in which we find ourselves, family law, immigration law, landlord and tenant law, the ability of building up ever bigger commercial practices, helping the UK expand. And, you know, with Brexit, we're all going to be needing to look to markets overseas. And, you know, Bangladesh and building closer relationships with Bangladesh as a country is going to be an important priority for us all. So can I just congratulate this society on what you do? Actually, I was really interested in your continuous professional development courses. I have to say, having been a member of now being a member of the bar of over 40 years cool, I find the CPD point system a bit kind of boring. So I'm always looking for interesting new places I can get my CPD points. So I might come and apply to do them with your course. And so many congratulations for an organization which has started 9 years ago, going from strength to strength, and I'm sure every year you'll become stronger. I just do have one request. If within the community you find any batsmen, will you please send them to the England team? We actually desperately need, we desperately need good batsmen. And actually, I will really believe that England's a truly multicultural society when we put out to bat as the England cricket team a truly multicultural team of all the best batsmen. And somewhere there have got to be some better batsmen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sir Tony Bouldry, for your inspirational and valuable speech. We will definitely not spare our batsmen, isn't it? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you Mrs. Jane Malcolm. She is the Executive Director of the External Affairs of the Solicitors Regulation Authority, SRA. Ladies and gentlemen, SRA. I mean, the moment you hear the word SRA, I mean, you feel like, what have I done wrong? However, Jane is not here to scare us. I believe she is here to bring our relationship one step closer. May I invite Mrs. Jane Malcolm onto the stage to say a few words on behalf of Solicitors Regulation Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from the horse's mouth.
Thank you so much, and good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for making me feel so welcome in the middle of a community that has been a huge part of my life for many, many years now. Back from when I was a schoolgirl in Rusholme, where our school sent us out into the homes of people coming into our community, just as my Scottish family came to the wet and windy streets of Manchester to make our home. So it was a pleasure to work with people back in the 1970s who were making their lives with us. And equally, when I did my postgraduate work in Bradford, crossing the Pennines, of course, from Manchester to Bradford is considered a major problem and really high risk. And again, the Bangladeshi community made me really, really welcome. I also spent about 12 years working for the Federation of Small Businesses, and many, many of our 250,000 members were entrepreneurial small businesses run by the Bangladeshi community, and I think we all learned a huge amount from them. I think I should probably be clear that I'm not a solicitor, I'm not a barrister, I'm not a lawyer of any sort. I am in fact an archaeologist. Scottish medieval monastic sites are my specialist area, which gives me an understanding of time, I like to think. But also, I've run many small businesses myself in my life, and I am, of course, a regulator. And perhaps those three things, what they all have in common is high standards. We all know that to run a business, if you don't meet high standards, you're not going to have a business anymore. Archaeology is a fundamentally destructive process. The best way we can bring our past into our future is to not touch it. That's the reality. So because we do touch it, in my case with a shovel and a barrow, you have to get it right first time. And those high standards are, of course, fundamental to professional regulation. And that's where we meet you, the profession. Because for us, they are the bedrock of what we do, which is around protecting the public. And for you, it's what you do every day in your practice, is exercise those high professional standards. When you're in a room seeing a client, those points on honesty, integrity, independence, confidentiality are fundamental to your thinking and to your professional conscience. And I think that's really important because it's those high professional standards on which the trust of the wider community is based. And that is what makes the rule of law come alive to people and, of course, supports the administration of justice, which again is something that we all have a shared commitment to. So what do those high professional standards look like in practice? For, as others have said, the 180,000 solicitors on our roll, the 42,000 in practice, the 10,500 firms that we regulate, the vast majority of which are small firms and sole practices. Small firms and sole practices to whom we are listening and talking, and I'm going to come back to that later. So I think for us, that's really about making sure those high professional standards come absolutely first. And you've seen us talking a lot about that recently. I'm not going to do a great long list of things we're working on, but one area, for example, is changing the way that solicitors qualify. It's a bit of a back to the future, solicitors qualifying examination, setting the same high standard for everyone coming into the profession. And that includes people coming into the profession through the apprenticeship route. And we first saw apprentices coming back in last year in 2016. And of course, again, back to the future because article clerks, different routes into the profession in the past. And we're really keen to see that happening. And importantly, what that will do is give opportunities to people from every community to come into the profession. And that's essential because a diverse legal profession is an effective legal profession that reflects the community it serves and allows the brightest and best from every background to come into one of the most highly regarded professions in the land. So I think that's absolutely key. Part of professional standards is also reviewing our codes of conduct, both for firms and for individuals, to make them simple, clear and accessible. And we've just done that by going out and talking to thousands and thousands and thousands of solicitors and firms. And thank you to the many of you who've helped with that. And if we can get those right, then I think that gives us an opportunity to do what we want to do, which is to get out of your way, which is to reduce that weight of bureaucracy, which is to make it more straightforward for you all to do what you want to do. And some examples of that, I think, are around the removal of things like the separate business rule, dealing with the way that accounts come into us, that type of thing, which hopefully save you time, save you money, and allow for the focus on those high standards that we're all looking for. And if we get that right, I think we're getting a long way down the path of working together and working together well. I think there's also some other areas where we can do more on, getting rid of simply as much red tape as possible. We've got our handbook down to about 400 pages now. We want to get it down to just over 100. I think that's absolutely key. And we want to support firms to grow and to innovate and to do things in a different way when firms want to do that. We're really keen to do more with small firms, and we've been talking to small firms about how best to do that. We've had some great ideas, and I think we are making changes, but we know there's more to do. So don't hesitate to catch me tonight and tell me where we're getting it wrong. I'll write it all down, and we'll try and get it right in future. And the best way to do that is really to get involved. We have a whole lot of easy, straightforward ways of doing that. We're out and about talking to people, so tell us what matters to you. And lastly, one of the things that we think will save money and that matters to us is getting our IT right. Burden for us all, keep it nice and modern. We've got about 1,000 solicitors working with us at the moment on this. Really important. If you get a chance, get involved in that. We're listening to what people are saying so that we can get it right. And finally, I think for me, I'd like to share with everybody else the congratulations to the Society for working with us so well. Congratulations to you all for the success of this really important community in the legal profession in the United Kingdom. We're looking forward to continuing to work with you, and I wish you well and a fantastic evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. That was not scary at all, was it? Jane has come all the way from Scotland to be with us tonight. Thank you. Her speech was inspirational and informative. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you are no doubt aware that we have with us tonight a number of distinguished members of the judiciary, and some of them from our own community. I'm very proud to introduce to you such a distinguished member of the judiciary who was called to the bar in 1990. She was appointed as a recorder in 2007 and as a circuit judge in 2014. She is currently sitting at East London Family Court. May I now invite her Honour Judge, Khatun Sapnara, onto the stage to say a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, her Honour Judge, Khatun Sapnara.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a real honour and a real pleasure to be here. Thank you, President, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. When I was appointed as a recorder of the Crown, it was really humbling to receive the letters and messages and telephone calls from members of the community. It clearly meant a lot to the community that effectively one of their own was being appointed to the judiciary in this country. And I want to pay tribute to this organisation. It relies, I know, and I don't underestimate how much hard work must go into the organisation of it and the commitment and the industry. I was born in Bangladesh during the war and lived there throughout the War of Liberation before coming to this country. My parents were steeped in the community, and they instilled in my brothers and I a sense of real pride in our heritage and in a sense of public service. And that has actually carried us through, because there is something about having a sense of identity, knowing who one is from within and how one fits within not only one's own minority community, but also within the dominant community and culture. I am really pleased that we are here celebrating in the building that is at the heart of the solicitor's profession. These sorts of organisations are very important. They are necessary in order to come together with a commonality of background, and there is something that is imparted from evenings such as this, I feel, which is valuable in terms of a sense of identity and a sense of shared knowledge, because things are tough. They are tough in the legal profession in the current climate. I appreciate that when I see the advocates who appear before me on a daily basis. The BAME solicitors are disproportionately represented in the publicly funded sector of the work and the profession, and that is a huge challenge in the current climate. And I know that you are all battling very, very hard to give the best possible service in very, very challenging times. There can be no-go areas for all of you. It is really pleasing to see that there are solicitors of a Bangladeshi British background who are represented in every tier and every aspect of work, not just the publicly funded sector, but those that are in commercial fields, young people who are in the magic circle firms. That's not for everyone, and everyone's contributions needs to be recognised, it seems to me, and to be celebrated. And that is the same goes for diversity and the importance of the diversity within the judiciary. This organisation, quite apart from sharing and learning experiences and coming together, ought also to be about celebrating all of those achievements. Now, the issue of diversity within the judiciary is not a matter up for debate anymore. That time has long passed. It is recognised at the highest levels within the senior judiciary and also within the political echelons of this society that diversity is essential to reflect better the society that the judiciary serves, and ultimately it is essential to the legitimacy of the judiciary and the decisions that are made with litigants coming from a very, very broad base of society. And ultimately, it's really important in order to maintain confidence, the very high levels of confidence that the judiciary enjoys in this country, and to maintain the public confidence in the justice system, which in this country is the envy of the world. I hope very much that appointments such as mine, and also more importantly Mr. Justice Chowdhury, who is a very dear friend of mine, and I was absolutely thrilled to hear of his appointment, highly meritorious, and you couldn't wish to meet a better lawyer, but also a better human being. It is really important, it seems to me, that we are all involved in the work that goes on to formulate how the professions work. So echoing what Jane said, it's really important to engage. No good standing on the sidelines and making any kind of complaints about the systems. You've got to be engaged, because only by doing that, it seems to me, you're going to inform the policy decisions that come out of the legal professions. And being involved in that policy making and in the governance of those organisations, it seems to me that we ought to engage in it, and you, each of you individually, have much to contribute in shaping that. Recently, for example, what I did was to take some time out that I could really ill afford. The courts at the moment, the family courts in particular, I sit part of the time in crime at Kingston Crown Court, but the family courts have an unprecedented volume of work at the moment, and I've got my hands full. But it seemed to me that it was very important, actually, that I do give some of my free time up to sit and to draft the exam papers for the new recorder competition, which is going to select the new judges. And the recorder competition, of course, is the gateway for those senior appointments going all the way up, ultimately, to the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. And so it seemed to me that it was very, very important that I be involved in that, to draft the papers, and also then to sit and interview the candidates. It's very time-consuming and demanding. But I thought to myself, you can't really sit here and complain about the lack of appointment of BAME candidates if you're not prepared actually to get involved in the system. Now, it may not make any difference, and it shouldn't, because ultimately the appointments are on ability, merit, and good character. But it seems to me just even being visible in the selection process is of significant value. I went through assessment processes when I was appointed as a recorder 10 years ago, and then as a circuit judge, and I never saw a single BAME person of influence in the whole of the selection process. And if only to make BAME candidates who may be from very non-traditional backgrounds, may not have been to private schools, may not be connected, to at least feel comfortable to see someone who may look like them sitting on that interview panel. And it seems to me that there's a huge value in doing that. But I mention it simply as an example of how we can all, at all stages, do more, I think, to engage and to contribute. And so I hope, as I say, that our appointments will encourage others to apply. And should you wish to do so, we are here to advise and to assist and support through a system that is sometimes a little impenetrable and a little esoteric, difficult to access. And so that is a useful purpose, I suppose, that we can be put to, and we're willing to do that. So I very much look forward to meeting as many of you as possible this evening, and I thank you again, and I hope you have a very enjoyable evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Her Honor Judge Khatun Sabnara. We are very proud of you. Thank you for your inspirational and encouraging speech. Thank you. Can we have a round of applause for her? Ladies and gentlemen, on my list, the Honorable Mr. Justice Lane was supposed to be here. Unfortunately, due to heavy snowfall, he couldn't make it. However, he has sent a message for you. And I would like to invite now our Vice President, Farida Hakim, to read out the message on behalf of the Honorable Mr. Justice Lane, who is the President of the Upper Tribunal. Ladies and gentlemen, the message from the Honorable Mr. Justice Lane.
Good evening, everybody. The message from Mr. Justice Lane is, I'm extremely sorry that I'm unable to be with you tonight to speak to you all in person and to enjoy your hospitality as a guest at your dinner. The sad fact is that I'm snowed in at my home in mid Wales. As I write this, the snow continues to fall relentlessly. My attempt to dig out the car from our driveway took a good hour but proved fruitless. Despite the fact that my car claims to have all 4 capabilities, these have not prevented it sliding down the sloping drive where it now firmly embedded. Everywhere is uncannily still and silent. Not a car is venturing along the country road next to our house. You have done me a great honour inviting me to your dinner, for which I am profoundly grateful. Societies such as yours serve several important functions. Not only do they provide invaluable opportunities for solicitors with shared interests and backgrounds to come together and discuss matters of common interest and concern, they also raise the profile of minorities within the solicitor's profession and the wider legal profession in this country. As you know, I was one of those appointed as a High Court judge at the beginning of this term. I am very delighted to say amongst my colleagues is Akhlaq Chowdhury QC, now Mr. Justice Chowdhury. I am sure you will all take enormous pride in his achievement. Despite coming from a minority background, Akhlaq's route to the High Court has been more conventional than mine. He was called to the bar, established a distinguished practice, took silk and became a recorder. My route has been a different one. Although called to the bar, I converted to become a solicitor in private practice before becoming a fee-paid immigration adjudicator in 1996 and then a salaried adjudicator. I therefore come from a tribunal background, the majority of it spent in the immigration asylum jurisdiction at first instance and then at appeal level. I was one of the first Deputy High Court judges to have been appointed as a result of being an upper tribunal judge rather than a recorder or circuit judge, following a very overdue change in the law. Gwyneth Knowles and I are the first tribunal judges to be appointed direct from the tribunal to the High Court. The reason I am telling you this is not through any gargantuan sense of pride, although I am of course proud, but because Gwyneth and I see ourselves as merely the first of what we hope and expect will be many to tread the path from a tribunal to the High Court. This is important for increasing judicial diversity. For some time, the tribunal judiciary has been significantly more diverse than its court's counterpart. It has a greater proportion of women and minorities. It is also, I believe, younger. Opening the doors between the tribunals and the courts makes good sense. It facilitates career progression. It enables judges to be deployed where there is greatest need at any particular time. It brings about cross-fertilization of judicial skills. As well as being a High Court judge sitting in the Queen's Bench Division, I'm still very much in the world of immigration. In October, I succeeded Mr. Justice McCloskey as President of the Immigration and Asylum Chamber of the Upper Tribunal. The UTIAC is the biggest of the chambers of the Upper Tribunal. It handles appeals from the first-tier tribunal and also most of the immigration judicial review applications brought in England and Wales. In common with the rest of the courts and tribunal systems, we face significant changes in the shape of reform programme. Ensuring that justice is served in our technologically driven age is one of the challenges and opportunities of this programme. I am again very sorry and disappointed not to be with you this evening. I hope you will forgive me. I wish you a very enjoyable evening and that your society may go from strength to strength. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the message from the President of the Upper Tribunal, the Honorable Mr. Justice Lane. Thank you, Farida, for reading out the message. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you His Honour, Mr. Justice Akhlaqur Rahman Chowdhury. Mr. Justice Chowdhury was appointed as the Queen's Counsel in 2015, Deputy High Court Judge in 2016, and has recently been appointed as a High Court Judge in October 2017. I am particularly proud that he is from my birthplace, Zokigonj, in Sylhet. May I now invite His Honour, Mr. Justice Chowdhury, onto the stage to say a few words. We are privileged to have His Honour, Mr. Justice Chowdhury. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much to President and Mr. Khalid and the rest of the committee for inviting me to this 9th annual dinner of the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors. It is indeed an honour to attend this event in my new role as a Justice of the High Court of England and Wales. And I thank the Society and all the previous speakers for their kind words of congratulations and their good wishes for my future success in the role. As a judge, one gets to see a wide range of cases where parties are represented by solicitors and counsel of all backgrounds and abilities. It's deeply encouraging to see so many of you here today representing the very best of the legal profession from within the British Bangladeshi community. But I also see many cases involving litigants in person, and it's sadly an increasing feature of litigation in this country that people have to argue or defend complex issues of law and fact without the kind of expertise that your members can provide. That's why it's so vital, that members of the profession can get together and provide the sort of free representation and assistance that your society provides. I've read about the new venture whereby some of your members will provide free advice clinics to unrepresented litigants. That is hugely important because even a little bit of legal expertise at an early stage in proceedings can make a huge difference to a litigant. It's a venture that's to be commended, and I wish the Society every success with that. I want to follow on a little bit from what my dear friend, Her Honour Judge Sapnara said about becoming a judge and the process of becoming a judge. 25 years ago when I started at the bar, it was an unachievable dream to become a High Court judge. It just seemed completely impossible. My background is the same as many of yours. Mr. Enam Ali mentioned the curry industry. My father was in the curry industry. He was a waiter, then a restaurateur. But he had big dreams. He dreamed that one day his son would become a High Court judge. But for so many years, it seemed just a dream. But several things happened to make that dream more of a reality. First of all, the tap on the shoulder mechanism, which for so many years had persisted as a means of getting onto the bench, was done away with and was replaced by a more transparent application process. Secondly, and perhaps more importantly for me on a personal level, Her Honour Judge Sapnara was appointed as a recorder. She was the first senior judicial appointment from within the Bangladeshi community. It was a real inspiration, it was a real breakthrough, and one cannot ever take away what a trailblazing role she played in my route to the bench. Thirdly, I was encouraged by many existing judges to apply, and one cannot underestimate how important it is to have words of encouragement from people who are already in the profession. And fourth, and also importantly, it was my faith in British society. Despite what the President said, I wasn't born in Bangladesh. I was born in this country, but I've grown up very much with a dual identity, both my Bangladeshi roots and a member of British society. And I've got a great faith in British values of tolerance, fairness, inclusivity, and meritocracy. And those things made me feel that whatever I did, I'd be recognised for my merits and my abilities and not because of my background. So those things encouraged me to apply, and I took the steps of becoming a recorder, then a QC, then a Deputy High Court Judge, then a High Court Judge. And some of these steps took a bit longer than others. For some of them, I had to apply more than once. And there's a lesson in that as well, which is perseverance is a very important attribute when you're seeking to achieve anything in the judiciary. So my message to all of you, to your colleagues who may not be here today, to any children that you may have that are studying law, that my father's dream is now a reality. You should no longer regard becoming a senior member of the judiciary as an unachievable dream. It is now a real ambition. Thank you for inviting me to speak at this event. Thank you for inviting me to come and say a few words. Thank you to the President and to all the members of the committee. I wish you all a very enjoyable evening, and I wish the Society every success in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Honor, Mr. Justice Akhlaqur Rahman Chaudhry, you are an inspiration for us. Thank you. We are grateful for you to be with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to now take you back to 2008 when it all started in this very hall on the 17th of July 2008. And after 9 years, we are back again here for our AGM and annual dinner. So, the host of tonight's event is the Law Society itself, and we are very privileged to have the President of the Law Society with us here tonight as our keynote speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite Mr. Joe Egan, the President of the Law Society, onto the stage for keynote speech. Mr. Joe Egan, President of the Law Society, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Mr. President, members of the judiciary, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Law Society of England and Wales. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all here tonight to this year's annual dinner. I must confess that when I saw that I had an invite to the SBBS dinner, I wondered what on earth I was going to say to the Society of Biomedical and Biotechnology Scientists. Happily, it turned out that I was going to be speaking to a room full of lawyers and therefore be somewhat more comfortable. I have a very real understanding of community and the kind of community that you have as the child of immigrants who came to this country to have a better life. I grew up in a very close community in the 50s and 60s in the northwest of England because both of my parents came from subsistence farms in the west of Ireland. And like our learned High Court judge, my parents too had great ambitions for their children, and you cannot imagine how proud my mother was when I became a solicitor. The Bangladeshi community is clearly one that's now well established. I understand that we're only a short walk away from the most important and most vibrant Bangladeshi community in the country, which I understand is just on the other side of the city. Members of the Bangladeshi legal community contribute to society by advising local businesses, facilitating work with businesses in Bangladesh, and through giving a voice to those who might otherwise not have one through the recently opened law centre that the High Court judge, Mr. Chaudhry, I think referred to earlier. Bangladeshi solicitors play a pivotal role as leaders in the legal community of this city and in other parts of the country. As many of you will know, and there's a pretty good clue on the banners, the Society was launched in 2008 at the Law Society in the presence of the then Lord Chief Justice and the Law Society's president at that time, Paul Marsh. Over the 9 years since then, it's gone from strength to strength, and it continues to help promote the legal profession and career pathways among British Bangladeshi students. In such a diverse and multicultural society as Britain, it's impossible to underestimate the contribution that minority groups make to our profession. The share of BAME solicitors practicing in the UK has increased to about 16%. And whilst that figure is perhaps reflective of our society, it remains the case that BAME solicitors are underrepresented both at partnership and leadership level, and, as has been mentioned, amongst the judiciary. This picture is not reflective of the British society that we have in 2017, and is something that we at the Law Society continue to work hard to address. In recent months, we've transformed our approach to inclusion through diversity. We believe that promoting a diverse and inclusive workforce makes business sense. And that's because it helps us to attract and retain the best talent. It enables us to understand and meet clients' needs more effectively. And it means that we can provide a better quality offer for our members. So here at the Law Society, we're continually scrutinising and refreshing the offer to ensure that it remains both current and relevant. We've made some big strides, but we know that there is much more that we can do to promote a diverse profession. And to do this, we are increasing our engagement with groups such as the SBBS. Our positive and collaborative approach help us to both to better understand and to better respond to the needs of solicitors from all backgrounds. The SBBS has done and will continue to play an important role in helping to shape the Law Society's race diversity strategy by feeding into the Ethnic Minority Lawyers Division Committee. And we're indebted to the Society, who we use as a sounding board to identify issues and barriers that are faced by members in order that we can try and find a solution. And for that, we are very, very grateful. As was said earlier, I'm very conscious that this has been quite a lengthy amount of speeches and that you're probably all very hungry now. So, to conclude, two of the finest words in the English language, can I conclude by saying that our bonds of friendship and cooperation with Bangladeshi practitioners are now stronger than ever. And once more, thank you very much, not only for inviting me to this dinner tonight, but also for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. Can I wish you all a wonderful evening? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Joe Egan, for your informative and inspirational speech. With that, we have come almost to the conclusion of tonight's event, of the second part of annual dinner of SBBS for 2017. I would like to now invite Mr. Ihsanul Haq, the President of the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors, for closing speech and vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ihsanul Haq, the President of SBBS.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I thank you everyone for thanking me, and it's my turn to thank you. We are here, and that's not me, that's my entire team. So they deserve a big round of applause from all you guys for making this event very successful. Dinner is now ready, so I should not keep you waiting. But if I don't say thank you, all of you, by names, I think you will be cursing me when you go home. I'm actually heading for home, and I want a cup of tea in my favorite couch because weather is terribly bad. I thank our patron and our advisors and senior members of our law community for their support. I wish to convey my heartfelt thanks to Justice Mr. Chowdhury, our Honour Judge Khatun Shapnaura. I've been asked to share a message which my colleague Farida shared from Honourable Justice Mr. Lane, and thank you, Mr. Lane, as he did not turn out for bad weather. I must appreciate commitment of Jane Malcolm, the Executive Director of External Affairs Survey, for our efforts travelling from Scotland to be with us. Thank you, Jane. And I spoke to Sean in the morning, and I told her you're a very, very smart girl to arrange your travel plan well ahead. Thank you very much. Also referred to my treasure meeting with Joe last week. Hope Joe can remember. And those who know him surely, they would tell you how a humble person he is. And thanks, Joe, for giving us time and your valuable words. Surely my members have learned a lot of things. I also thank my good friend, esteemed politician Sautuni Buldri, Mr. Anamali MB, my older brother, and my younger brother, our society's very own accountant, Nur Jaman Taj. My heartfelt thanks goes again to my very good friends sitting here, Joel and Toby, and Tim and James from Index Search and from JLT Specialty, and also to Mr. Iqbal from London View Chambers, sponsor our event. I also thank Mr. Sugar of TSSS Management and Greenbisher Engineers Limited to supporting us. Should I go more or shall I stop in here? Okay. Farida says no. Good night. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that, we have come to the conclusion of the speeches. No more speeches. I'm standing right between yourselves and your dinner. However, we have very small introduction. We will be very quick introduction of the governing body followed by a very small award giving ceremony. So I would like to now formally introduce to our current governing body members of the SBBS, the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors, who were directly elected by the members on 4th of June 2016 to serve the society. So let me invite the man himself, Mr. Ihsanul Haq, the President of the SBBS, onto the stage, please. I would like to now invite Mr. Ihsanul Haq. He is the senior partner of Haq & Husman Solicitors. He's been called to the bar as a barrister with the Honorable Society of Lincoln's Inn. I would like to now request our Vice President, Mr. MD Kamrul Hassan from MQ Hassan Solicitors. He's a very well-respected solicitor in the community, a celebrity lawyer, and the principal of MQ Hassan Solicitors, Mr. Kamrul Hassan. I would like to now request Mr. Tarek Chaudhry, Vice President of SBBS. He is the principal of Kingdom Solicitors. He is the only king in our committee. Mr. Tarek Chaudhry, celebrity lawyer, and I would like to introduce him to you. Now I would like to introduce Mr. Abul Kalam Chaudhry, very well-known lawyer in the community, our Vice President and Principal of KC Solicitors. Now, you've seen her before on the stage. Now, I would like to invite Farida Hakim, the Director of Family Department of Duncan Lewis Solicitors. He's our Vice Chair. Farida Hakim, onto the stage, please. And then myself, the General Secretary of the Society, Saifuddin Khaled. I am with Hamlet Solicitors under the good care of my two good friends, Abul Kalam Tahir and Biplop Puddar. Thank you. Now, our two joint secretaries, they are not here tonight. Mr. Abu Ilyas, he is with KC Solicitors and he's been called to the bar with the Honorable Society of Lincoln's Inn. He couldn't make it tonight because he is ill. And Mr. Ikramul Haq Majumdar, another joint secretary, he went to visit his family in Bangladesh, so he couldn't, but they both gave their regards to you. Now I would like to invite Mr. Hasnat Talukdar, our organizing secretary from Hamlet Solicitors. He's also been called to the bar with the Honorable Society of Lincoln's Inn. Now then, the treasurer. You've seen him onto the stage before, Mahdi Hassan, the only eligible bachelor in our community. Those millionaires who are on this hall, he's a good catch. The full CV will be provided on request. Mahdi Hassan, the man himself here, he's proved himself to be a backbone of our society. Mahdi Hassan, our treasurer. Another member of the governing body, joint treasurer Laila Hafriz, couldn't be here because he had to be with somewhere else. Laila Hafriz, our joint treasurer. I would like to now invite Mr. Nurul Ghaffar, very hardworking individual, very inspirational lawyer, education and training secretary. He is also has been called to the bar as a barrister with the Honorable Society of Lincoln's Inn. Dawan Mahdi Chaudhry is a very young, talented solicitor. He's a senior partner with Citygate Solicitors, our press and publicity secretary. Dawan Mahdi Chaudhry, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, another member of our team, Pia Mayanin, cultural secretary, who couldn't be here because she is ill. However, she gave her regards to you. Pia Mayanin Chaudhry, our cultural secretary. I would like to now request Mr. Shah Misbahur Rahman. He's an executive member of the governing body. He's a senior partner at Waterstone Solicitors and also been called to the bar with the Honorable Society of Lincoln's Inn. Now, Zahir Ashraf, Principal of BlackRock Solicitors. He has also been called to the bar with the Honorable Society of Lincoln, our executive member. Thank you, Zahir Bhai. I would like to now invite onto the stage Mr. Goniullah, executive member of the governing body. He is with Hafiz and Hawk Solicitors. Mr. Goniullah. Is he here? The next on my list is Munshad Habib Chaudhry. He is with Elco Solicitors, a distinguished member of the profession. He is an executive member of the governing body. Munshad Habib Chaudhry, ladies and gentlemen. A good friend of mine, Majidur Chaudhry, he is a partner with Liberty Legal Solicitors. He has also been called to the bar with the Honorable Society of Lincoln, a very well-known TB personality and the TB celebrity lawyer. I would like to now introduce to you, we're nearly there, introduce to you Tamina Kabir, the principal of Tamina Solicitors. I used to pronounce her name Tahmina, but then she said no, it's Tamina. So did I get it right? Okay, thank you. Tamina Kabir, she has also been called to the bar as a barrister with the Honorable Society of Lincoln, practicing as a solicitor. Then very respected lawyer, very senior brother to me, Chaudhry Hafizur Rahman, executive member. He has also been called to the bar with the Honorable Society of Lincoln. Ladies and gentlemen, the governing body of 2016 and 17 for the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors. Thank you all. Thank you. Yeah.
ঠিক আছে
Okay, everyone, give me a seat. Everyone on the street, by the way. One more, another one, big small guys, another one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are nearly there. With that, we have come to the last part of this segment of annual dinner of SBBS 2016 and 17. In this part, on behalf of the SBBS, ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? This is a very important part of tonight's event, and we would like to recognize and acknowledge that. Thank you. Can we have a big round of applause for each other? Thank you. I'm very grateful for your undivided attention so far. You've been a brilliant, wonderful audience. Thank you. As I was saying, in this part of tonight's event, on behalf of the SBBS, we would like to acknowledge and recognize the hard work and the contributions made by the members of the profession to bring the excellence in the profession and to the SBBS in its activities in all aspects. We are very grateful to all of you. For obvious reasons, we cannot formally name and give awards to all, but one thing for sure, all of your names are in the SBBS Book of Respect and Gratitude. So, thank you all. Let's have a big round of applause for all of us once again. On this occasion, we are presenting awards under 3 particular categories, and those 3 particular categories are as follows. Outstanding contributions to the profession and to the community. Second category is outstanding contribution to the SBBS Legal Clinic, our flagship project. And the third category is outstanding contributions to the SBBS, the Society of British Bangladeshi Solicitors. Under the category of outstanding contributions to the profession and to the community, on this occasion, we would like to present awards to 2 distinguished members of the profession. First one on my list is a highly respected, well-known lawyer in our community, and to present him the award, I would like to invite Mr. Joe Egan, the President of the Law Society, and Mr. Ihsanul Haq, the President of SBBS, onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, the rightful recipient of this award is Mr. Shahid Rahman, who was admitted as a solicitor on 16th of January 1984. I was in my primary school at that time. He was the principal of Shahid Rahman Solicitors. He is also a founding member of SBBS, great inspiration for new generation of lawyers. May I invite Mr. Shahid Rahman onto the stage to receive his awards from the President of the Law Society, Mr. Joe Egan, and the President of SBBS, Mr. Ihsanul Haq. Mr. Shahid Rahman, ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause? Ladies and gentlemen, the rightful recipient of the next award under this category is another distinguished member of the profession. Under the same category on my list, and she is an inspiration for all of us, for all British Bangladeshi solicitors. And to present her this award, I would like to request her Honour Judge, Khatun Sapnara, and Sir Tony Boldy onto the stage, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the rightful recipient of this award is Mrs. Shanaz Ahmed, MBE. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it tonight because her aunt passed away. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. However, her ex-colleague is here. I would like to invite her ex-colleague Farida Hakim and Tamina Kovir onto the stage to receive the award. Let me just introduce Shanaz Ahmed, MBE, who was graduated with an LLB honours from London School of Economics and went to complete her Law Society final exams. At that time, it used to be called at the College of Law. Now it is the University of Law. She went to complete her training contract with one of the largest and notable firm in the East London, TV Edwards. She qualified on 15th of March 1996. On qualifying, she chose to specialize in family law, and since setting up the firm, she has become a member of the Law Society's family law panel. Shanaz is also a trained mediator in all aspects of family work. Shanaz has been involved in various voluntary organizations and has been a member of the management committee for Newham Asian Women's Project and the East London Asian Family Counselling Service. She is also a non-executive director of the East London and City Health Authority. Shanaz was conferred a MBE in the Queen's Birthday Honours List for service to the Asian community in East London and continues to be involved in numerous voluntary organizations in East London. Ladies and gentlemen, Shanaz Ahmed, MBE. May I request Farida Hakim and Tamina Kovir onto the stage to receive the award on behalf of Shanaz Ahmed. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you would be aware that under the current governing body, our flagship project has been the SBBS Legal Clinic. And to make this project a reality, so many of our members have worked very hard, and we acknowledge all of your efforts with grateful heart. However, we've decided to particularly recognize and acknowledge the outstanding contributions made by 3 distinguished members of the Society for their tireless hard work, dedication, and commitments towards the SBBS Legal Clinic. I will invite them in turn onto the stage. To present the award to the first recipient under this category, I would like to invite His Honour Mr. Justice Akhlaqur Rahman Chaudhry and Mr. Sahul Ahmed, founding president of the SBBS, onto the stage, please. And the first award goes to Farida Hakim, the head of the SBBS Legal Clinic, the vice president of SBBS. May I invite Farida Hakim onto the stage to receive the award. Thank you. To present the next award under this category, I would like to invite the patron, our patron of the SBBS, Judge Belayat Hussain, and our former president, Mr. Shafiqur Rahman, onto the stage. And the next award goes to Mr. Muhammad Kamrul Hassan, the principal of MQ Hassan Solicitors, for his outstanding contributions to the SBBS Legal Clinic. Kamrul Bhai, we are very grateful to you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kamrul Hassan from MQ Hassan Solicitors. Thank you. To present the next award under the same category, I would like to request our former president, Mr. Abul Kalam, and Team Shuttleworth from Index onto the stage to present the award. And the next award goes to another distinguished member of the profession. He's a very well-known lawyer in the community, senior partner of Waterstone Solicitors, Mr. Shah Misbahur Rahman, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. The next category on my list, and this is the last category, by the way. To present the first award under this category, I would invite Barrister Masood Iqbal of London View Chambers and Joel Harding from JLT Specialty onto the stage, please. And the first award under this category goes to Muhammad Nurul Gaffa, who is our Education and Training Secretary. He's a partner of Londonium Solicitors. He's a very hardworking member of our society. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nurul Gaffa, to receive the award onto the stage from Masood Iqbal and Joel Harding from JLT Specialty. Ladies and gentlemen, Nurul Gaffa. Thank you. To present the next award, and this is the last award, may I invite Mrs. Jane Malcolm, the Executive Director of External Affairs of SRA, and Mr. Inam Ali MBE, the President of BBCCI, onto the stage, please. And ladies and gentlemen, the next award goes to the man himself, Mr. Mahdi Hassan, our only eligible bachelor, and our treasurer. And he is the head of the conveyancing department of Charles Gregory Solicitors. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mahdi Hassan.
Introduce for 2 minutes.
Okay. Before I finish, I would like to particularly thank you, all of you, for being with us tonight, particularly our local press from electronic and print media. Nahash Pasabai is here, Taisirva is here, Ahmad Chaudhry is here, I think the director of, managing director of ATN Bangla is here. I'm so sorry if I couldn't mention any, if I miss any of your names, but we are very grateful for your continuous support, very grateful. TV1, Mr. Azhar is here as well, representative Ahad Bhai is here from Channel S. Very grateful to you, very grateful, you've been very supportive throughout. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now, I believe, nearly there, anyway. And we have come to the conclusion of our award-giving ceremony. With this, I conclude and invite all of you to enjoy the dinner. Once again, on behalf of the SBBS, I would like to thank you all for being here with us tonight. Thank you very much. God bless you. Enjoy the dinner. Thank you.